The global
New
conflict
hook,
update
15 to
requires our
25
immediate attention.
seconds. What if
We're
I
tracking
told you
missile
that one
movements
narrow
and reassessing
waterway
the strategic
could decide
situation
the
in the
fate
Middle
of the
East?
entire world's
The global
energy
conflict
supply?
update requires
Right
our
now,
immediate
tensions
attention.
between
We're
Iran and the
tracking missile
United
movements
States are
and
rising
reassessing the
again.
strategic situation
Warships
in
are
the Middle
moving.
East.
Threats are
The
being
global conflict
exchanged,
update
and a
requires
massive
our
gas
immediate
tanker has
attention.
just crossed the
We're
most
tracking
dangerous
missile
shipping
movements
route
and
on Earth,
reassessing
the
the
Strait of
strategic
Hormuz.
situation in the Middle
One
East.
wrong move here
The global
could
conflict
shake
update
global
requires
markets
our
and
immediate
trigger
attention.
a crisis the
We're
world is
tracking
not
missile
ready for.
movements and
Let's break
reassessing the
down what's
strategic
really
situation
happening.
in the Middle East.
Hashtag Iran versus US. The Strait of Hormuz crisis is getting worse. Full YouTube script number intro. 15 to 25 seconds. What happens when one small waterway controls the world's energy supply and suddenly becomes a battlefield? Right now, tensions between Iran and the United States are rising fast. A massive Qatari gas tanker has crossed the Strait of Hormuz for the first time since the conflict began, while Iran is openly warning countries that support US sanctions. And now, warships are moving into the region. Could this crisis trigger a global energy shock, or even a larger war? Let's break it all down. Main script. The Middle East is once again becoming the center of global tension. Over the last few days, the world has been closely watching the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important waterways on Earth. This narrow stretch of water may look small on a map, but it controls the flow of global oil and gas. Nearly 1/5 of the world's oil passes through this route every single day. And now that route is under pressure. A Qatari LNG tanker called *Al-Karatiyat* has officially crossed the Strait of Hormuz on its way to Pakistan. At first, this may sound like a normal shipping update. But in reality, this movement carries a huge message. According to shipping analysts, this is the first Qatari-owned and operated LNG tanker to cross the strait since tensions between Iran and the United States exploded earlier this year. That alone is enough to get global attention, but things become even more serious when we look deeper. The tanker reportedly used the northern shipping route near Iran's Qashm Island, a route that is believed to be approved and monitored by Iranian authorities. This shows one important reality. Iran still has major control and influence inside the Strait of Hormuz. And the world knows it. Now here's why this matters so much. Qatar is one of the largest exporters of liquid natural gas on Earth. The country normally supplies nearly 20% of global LNG. That means millions of homes, factories, and power plants around the world depend on Qatari gas, especially countries in Asia and Europe. But because of the current conflict and instability in the region, reports suggest Qatar's LNG operations have already suffered disruptions and damage. And if exports slow down further, global energy prices could rise very quickly. That could affect fuel prices, electricity bills, shipping costs, and even food prices worldwide. This is no longer just a regional conflict. This is becoming a global economic threat. And then came Iran's warning. A senior Iranian military spokesperson delivered a direct message to countries supporting US sanctions against Iran. He said that nations helping America pressure Iran could face problems while passing through the Strait of Hormuz. That statement immediately raised concerns across international shipping markets. Because when Iran talks about problems in Hormuz, the world pays attention. Why? Because Iran has geographical advantage in the region. The Strait of Hormuz is narrow, very narrow. At some points, commercial ships move through routes only a few kilometers wide, and Iran's military presence around the area is massive. The country has fast attack boats, anti-ship missiles, naval drones, mines, and coastal radar systems positioned around the Gulf. In simple words, Iran has the ability to threaten shipping traffic whenever tensions rise, and history proves this. Over the years, multiple oil tankers have been seized, damaged, or attacked near Hormuz during periods of conflict. Every time this happens, energy markets panic, because if Hormuz becomes unsafe, global trade suffers immediately. Now, Western countries are responding. Reports suggest several nations are discussing joint naval operations to protect commercial shipping in the region. The United Kingdom has already announced plans to send a warship to the Middle East, and experts believe other Western allies could soon increase their military presence as well. This creates a very dangerous situation, because the more military forces enter the Gulf, the higher the chance of direct confrontation. One misunderstanding, one missile, One drone attack could trigger a much larger conflict, and this is exactly what many world leaders are trying to avoid right now. But there's another important angle people are talking about: Pakistan. Remember, the Qatari LNG tanker was reportedly heading toward Pakistan. Pakistan is already facing economic pressure and energy shortages. If gas supplies become unstable, it could create serious domestic challenges for the country. And Pakistan is not alone. Many Asian economies depend heavily on energy flowing safely through Hormuz. That includes India, China, Japan, and South Korea. This means the Strait of Hormuz is not just important for the Middle East, it's important for the entire global economy. And now investors, governments, and military analysts are all asking the same question. What happens next? Will Iran actually interfere with international shipping? Will the US and its allies increase military operations in the Gulf? Or will diplomacy calm the situation before things spiral out of control? Right now, nobody knows for sure. But one thing is very clear: the tension is real, the warnings are becoming stronger, and the world is watching every movement inside the Strait of Hormuz. Because if this waterway becomes fully unstable, the consequences could spread far beyond the Middle East. Energy prices could explode, global markets could panic, and military conflict could grow rapidly. For now, ships are still moving, trade is still alive, but the situation remains extremely fragile. One wrong move could change everything. Outro: the Strait of Hormuz has always been one of the world's most dangerous pressure points, but now, the tension between Iran and the United States is pushing the region closer to uncertainty once again. Do you think this crisis will calm down through diplomacy, or are we moving toward a larger confrontation in the Middle East? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more war updates, geopolitical analysis, and global conflict stories from around the world.
Thanks for watching, and stay informed.